Well, Mike Waltz, the national security advisor of the United States, was interviewed on Fox News about those, the Signal Gate, those leaked messages, or not leaked messages. Like, is a journalist from The Atlantic who was mysteriously added to this very private group where they were discussing this Houthis, these attacks on the Houthis. And, well, his body language revealed a couple of things, especially a couple inconsistencies and contradictions. So we're going to be looking at a summary of this. So you can see that there's more to this story that we know right now. This is the beginning.
But how did a Trump-hating editor of The Atlantic end up on your Signal chat?
You know, Laura, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but of all the people out there, somehow this guy who has lied about the president, who has lied to Gold Star families, lied to their attorneys, and gone to Russia hoax, gone to just all kinds of links to lie and smear the president of the United States. And he's the one that somehow gets on somebody's contact and then gets sucked into this group.
Notice a couple of things. She asks, how did he end in there? And for all that Waltz has answered, he has not addressed the question itself. He's just saying that, yeah, the guy is journalism scum. Okay, we can agree with that. But he doesn't address how did he end in there. In fact, he uses the word somehow, as in somehow Palpatine returned. But he doesn't address the fact. He, at some point, he does a single shoulders raise. I'm going to replay this part.
The people out there.
Right there.
The people out there.
There's a bit of a single shoulder raise in there. I'm going to mark it just in case. And maybe he's not that sure of what he's saying, but the most important thing is that he is avoiding the question itself. He's not addressing the question. But let's continue. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. We're just getting started.
Is someone in your intel team trying to cause trouble here? Because
this is important. Okay, you don't know. You're not going to address directly how it happened. But is there some kind of rat, somebody, a double agent in your team, in your staff? Because that will be a real security concern.
That's the scuttlebutt out there.
Look,
that
we have people. No, look, this is a great group. The president has a great team. This is not first term.
No, your team. I'm not talking about the other principals.
No. These were principals and a couple of staff.
Oh, he's very confident in his body language with this answer. There are no emotional markers. He's saying that there's nobody like responsible for this. Like, this just happened, apparently. There's no doubting. There's no change in his rate of speech. There's no change in his eye contact so far. It seems that so good that there's nobody in there inside that very close circle of people responsible that is not a rat. That is nice, I guess.
Coordinating, as you saw, having a policy discussion as we went forward, and then just in the days before, what was an incredible strike.
There's something that he does. I noticed that he does this sometimes when he's going to emphasize. He turns his face away from the interviewer for a couple of seconds. He doesn't do it only as a negation, but also as an emphasis right there.
Just in the days before.
Right there. He moves his head away. That's a bit quirky. I noticed that is part of his body language. You're going to notice that in other very critical moments, he's going to do this. So that might mean something, but no, it's part of his usual body language expression. This is something that you have to be very wary about.
What was an incredible strike. Not only did we take out people that the Biden team never could, that we took out headquarters, missile cache.
Okay, right now he begins to talk about for 2 minutes about the success of the mission. Again, that was not the question. The question was, is there a rat in the group? Is there somebody inside the group that is a security concern for the United States? Again, he is evading the question itself. But maybe you could say, Jesus, how can he say that there's actually a rat in the group if there was a rat? But then, if he's avoiding the question, then it makes everybody more nervous than everybody should be, because it's like acknowledging that there's something going on, because you're not addressing the actual how this happened, which is I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the next question.
So they want to focus on this. It's embarrassing,
right.
yes. We're going to get to the bottom of it. I just talked to Elon on the way here. We've got the best technical minds looking at how this happened.
Notice that he mentions Elon and he says technical minds. That will be important in a few minutes. But this next section is perhaps one of the two most important clips that you should watch. So pay attention to his body language and his words. It's very short, very, very quick to the point. He's going to say that he doesn't know Rosenberg at all. It's important. Watch.
But I can tell you for 100%, I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is a bottom scum.
Notice that he made sure to be very emphatic that he doesn't know Rosenberg. He's very clear, right? 100%. I don't know the guy. That's very important. He did a couple things, like making himself a bit smaller here. I don't know, that was not that much of a confident body language doing that. The pinch gesture is fine. The making yourself smaller, it's not that confident.
For 100%.
Then he does what I told you. It was important. Oh, I thought that he was trying to avoid, you pull your head away. But remember that this is part of his usual body language, because he has used it, the pulling his face away, in other moments that have no emotional weight. So we can just discard that. But it's important. It's important that he say that he 100% doesn't know Rosenberg. So we move on, and you're gonna compare this with another clip, another very important clip later on.
And I know him in the sense that he hates the president, but I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone, and we're.
I don't text him. He wasn't on my phone. He keeps shaking his head. He wasn't on his phone. Notice why I made that pause. Remember, he just said that he wasn't on his phone.
We're going to figure out how this happened.
So you don't know what staffer is responsible for this?
He swallowed hard when he said that he wasn't on his phone. It's like he has doubts about that statement.
Well, look, a staffer wasn't responsible, and look, I take full responsibility. I built the group. My job is to make sure everything's coordinated.
But how did that number?
Well, this is what a boss does. He assumes full responsibility, even if that was the mistake of a staffer. But what kind of mistake can you make by adding somebody to a group without checking if that somebody is what the contact claims to be? And that's when we get this.
I mean, I don't mean to be pedantic here, but how did the number
Have you ever had somebody's contact that shows their name, and then you have somebody else's number there?
That thing. Have you ever had a contact that has a name but has somebody else's number? Well, maybe I'm not that popular. I don't have that many contacts, but that has literally never happened to me. As in, when you're adding somebody's number, especially by hand, you add the name and the number. If you are adding that from other means, I don't know. Maybe there could be a problem in just one number. Just one number. If you're adding from a data sheet or something like that. I don't know. I have my doubts, but I never. I would like to know if you have had that problem at some point. Have you had a number in your phone with the names mixed with another person? And it so happens that that number in Waltz's case is from one of the most parasitic scum journalists in the United States. Well, that's quite a coincidence. And now that we are at it, who was the person that they thought that they were adding to that group that was not added, in fact? It was really strange.
That was mistakes.
Right? You got somebody else's number on someone else's contact, so of course I didn't see this.
No, that hasn't happened to me, but your mileage may vary.
User in the group. It looked like someone else. Now, whether he did it deliberately.
I notice that he keeps hiding his left hand. I just make it as an observation, only gesturing with his right.
or it happened in some other technical mean is something we're trying to figure out.
So your staffer did not.
Notice that he says that maybe it happened deliberately, or it happened,
or it happened in some other technical mean.
It happened in some other technical mean. Again, it's such a coincidence that it was the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic. But, well, we're moving on.
So your staffer did not put his contact information. But how did it end up in your
that's
phone?
what we're trying to. That's what we're trying to figure out.
Okay, but that's a pretty big problem.
Yeah, that is a very big problem, because you know that Elon Musk can have all his whiz kids to try to solve this riddle, but you know that there's the 8th layer of security in IT. You got 7 layers that are pretty technical, but the 8th layer of security pertains to people. And if you don't really know your people, which it really looks like this is the case, then you have a very big problem in your hands. Like, who built that group? Why aren't anybody being fired or investigated? Or why is something, we feel like it's something that is being hidden from us? Okay, might be an actual, if this is an actual security issue, threat, hole, then I think the public should know. I think the public should be aware of this. Not only that, Signal was just pre-installed in our phones. We couldn't do anything about it. I think that is too cheap of a justification.
That's what we've got the best technical minds, right?
Again, best technical minds. This is a technical thing. This is not a human thing. This is a technical thing. That's why he keeps repeating that term.
And that's where, I mean, I'm sure everybody out there has had a contact where it was said one person.
Third time he says the same. Why? Why would he say that nonsense 3 times already?
I'm not an expert in any of this, but it's just curious. How's the number on your phone?
Well,
it's great that the question was asked more than a couple times.
You have somebody else's contact, and then somehow it gets sucked in.
You that
it gets sucked in.
Was there?
Get sucked in. I mean, this is worse. He's trying to say the thing a 4th time, and all of a sudden, well, the contact gets sucked in. Contacts do not get sucked in, Mike. This is very easy. Somebody put it in there, because usually, if you have an issue with names and numbers, you will have an issue with many names and many numbers because you imported the data incorrectly. If you imported the contacts, you will import many of them incorrectly, not only just one, and just that contact precisely.
Is there someone else supposed to be on the chat that wasn't on the chat that you thought was on the chat?
So the person that I thought was on there was never on there. It was this
Who
guy.
was that? What person?
Well, I'm not. Look, okay. Laura, I take responsibility. I built the group.
My guess is that there was no other person that was, in place. They should have added another person. My guess is that such a person did not exist. Is that they added Rosenberg as a +1, not in place of another one, but somebody just placed him in there. And that somebody, if there is somebody who can do that kind of stuff, then, well, that is a real security issue, even if there was nothing classified. But what if there was something classified in those conversations?
Okay.
So but look, that's the part that we have to figure out, and that's the part that embarrassing, yes, but Pete and I are veterans. We know these operations. He has been an excellent Secretary of Defense. And this was an operation.
Okay, talking about again about the operation itself. Okay, the operation was a success. Great. That guy shouldn't have been there. Agreed. That guy is journalistic scum. Agreed. We want to know how it happened, why it happened, and if somebody has to be responsible for this. How this happened? If you claim that you have never met the guy. Right? You say that 100%?
But the concern is that somebody got involved here who didn't want the president to be successful. And a lot of us are very concerned about that someone is in this orbit who doesn't want this president of the United States to be a raging success and turn our foreign policy into an America First approach.
Look, we made a mistake. We're moving
Okay, now is we made a mistake. He's owning. Again, I think that he said that once.
forward, and we're going to continue to knock it out of the park.
Again, talking about results and trying to elude the fact that somebody did something.
Liberation Day.
The DNI was very adamant today and very clear that there was no classified information in this text chat. And the Democrats, of course, are predictably, they're going to jump on this. But should Goldberg just release the other information that he has? Because he's standing on this well.
Well, there's no other information because we already know that they tried to push that this were war plans, and they even changed the headline because, yeah, I told you, I predicted that if they had such as screenshots of war plans, nothing classified, they have nothing classified. If they had something classified, all of that would have been on Reddit in a matter of minutes. And no, that didn't happen. And since it didn't happen, then it's the best guess that they don't have it.
What you also saw was a healthy policy debate in how we were going to achieve this for the president. What would be?
Yeah, this is another thing that I found it's a bit silly. Okay, it was even a good thing that there was this leak because you had the opportunity to see this healthy exchange between people. No. We shouldn't be able to see those messages. It shouldn't be possible on Signal, on Telegram, on any other platform. That's just plain wrong. And then this is the clip that I want you to watch, and you tell me if you find something odd in his words.
Always better. But you've never met Goldberg. He's out there saying you guys have met in the past, but you've never met him.
No idea. Wouldn't know him if I bumped into him, if I saw him in a police lineup.
Why? What? What do you say? Notice that she asks the question a second time many minutes after she already asked that question. And what is his answer?
Always better. But you've never met Goldberg. He's out there saying you guys have met in the past, but you've never met him.
No idea. Wouldn't know him if I bumped into him, if I saw him in a police lineup.
No idea. But you have no idea?
Goldberg, he's out there saying you guys have met in the past, but you've never met him.
No idea. Wouldn't know him if I bumped into him, if I...
Wouldn't know if I bumped into him. No, wait a second. You were 100%. This was his previous answer.
And I can tell you for 100%. I don't know this guy. I know him by his horrible reputation, and he really is the bottom.
And, well, the way that he phrased this second answer, I don't know, I have my doubts.
It's always better. But you've never met Goldberg. He's out there saying you guys have met in the past, but you've never met him.
No idea. Wouldn't know him if I bumped into him, if I saw him in a police lineup. Do now.
Do you think that this sounds like his first answer, that the 100%, when he made himself smaller, 100%, I don't know this guy, doesn't sound like it. So the body language, both the body language and the words do not match with what he's trying to say. And there's a kind of a contradiction between the two answers. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. We have only one more clip to watch.
Knew him by reputation about lying about the president over and over again.
Oh, we know that. We already know that. But what else? What else do you have to say?
Certainly wasn't reaching out or talking to him.
Certainly wasn't reaching out or talking to him. You don't need to say that because you don't know the guy, right? You remember, you don't know the guy 100%. And he raises his hands as in, I'm innocent. I have nothing to do with him. And there's a single shoulder shrug again. It goes.
Talking to him at all. Why would I?
Why would I? Yeah, why would you? Because you don't know him, right? That's the kind of things that I find interesting.
This healthy back and forth, this respectful back and forth, different points of view. But at the end of the day, we're executing.
Yeah, he's trying to do damage control, talking about the exchange again. We really don't want to know about the exchange. We already saw the exchange and the emojis and everything. We want to know how this happened and how can we be sure that this doesn't happen in the future again. But I would like to know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy, and remember to download my 100 free body language tips in the description of this video. Much love and bliss.